Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday the 27th. So it was a week ago that I last recorded. It was a week ago that I really did much anything in the field. It's been a lot of stuff in the shop this week because we got an inch of rain. Let me say that again. We got an inch of rain. Holy crap, was that glorious. Came really slow over like 24 hours. Soaked in amazing. Everything is turning different colors. Everybody's mood is better. Oh, it's amazing what a simple inch of rain can do. We're kind of opposite of the Midwest. There right now, if they got an inch of rain, they'd be yelling and screaming pissed off. We're excited here. Wheat's looking pretty good. Neighbor's hay is trying to get going. For not being irrigated, that's looking pretty good. It's kind of nice. Anywho, so we're getting corn planted, like I said. As you can see, corn planter behind me. We're on schedule to have all the corn in the ground by the 31st, which is the plant deadline. It's looking like that shouldn't be a problem. I'm in this. Cameron's getting fields prepped and ready, working. Maddie's swathing. Because of the rain, all of a sudden we have manure, so we got a manure crew going, getting pens clean for the cattle. And then Bart and Glenn are working on the merger. We're not too happy at the moment about that. Oxbow 2330. I've been really impressed with this machine, the little bit we've got to run it. We've got a little problem there too. The little bit we've got to run it. Bought it last year. Got to run it for about... We bought it at the start of harvest, but it was in Wisconsin. By the time it got here, it was like 3 weeks later. So harvest is almost over. Got to run it for 3 or 4 days, and belt tensioner went out. By the time they got it fixed, we were done. Now we've put on 100 acres this year, and belt is tearing in half. That's disappointing. I don't know if this thing's covered 1,000 acres yet. That's disappointing. We've clearly got something going on there with that band, but that's a major problem. Sounds like our dealer, though, has a belt on hand. They were going to start stocking some parts for this. Now that we have one, there's a dairy not too far away that has several. So hopefully that's covered under warranty. I would think that's got to be covered under warranty. But you never know. Isn't that some beautiful hay? It's time to be getting going in first cutting, and that's what this hayfield looks like. Yeah, well, another field, another nutritious field lunch. Thanks, babe. Okay, I just had something pop up on my phone. I gotta talk about something that's got me pretty pissed off this spring. I'm starting to have a real problem with NOAA, the National Weather Service, and their alerts they send out. One, because this year they have just started making up random alerts. So it's annoying to get all those messages. But two, specifically red flag warnings. We are now in a red flag warning for tomorrow. We just had an inch of rain. Everything is green and growing. And we are in a red flag warning, which means extreme fire danger, high temps, low humidity, no burning, is what they're telling you. You gotta be kidding me. In Colorado, the way I understand it, agricultural burning is a protected right. Fire bans, all this other stuff, they cannot stop you from agricultural burning because it has been a proven and necessary, what I want to call a tool that us farmers have to use. I've shown you guys as we were getting ready this spring, you cannot get your farm ready without fire. Some guys try, and it's always a disaster. Eventually you'll get the water there or whatever you need, but it requires a whole lot more manpower and a whole lot more time and effort than is needed. Now, red flag warning is the only thing that can affect agricultural burning. The way it is in our area, they always want you to call in before burning, call dispatch, let them know you're going to burn, so that way when they get a call from some random person driving down the road saying, hey, there's a crazy out of control fire, they'll go, no, it's just a farmer burning his ditch. It's okay. Now, that sounds great in theory, but we've had a lot of trouble with this over the last several years. A handful of years ago, they tried to tell us we were not allowed to burn unless we had permission from them. Well, we're sitting here getting water down, pitchforking out the weeds. Wind was blowing, so we're lighting the piles on fire as we go. Some random person, which we know was a volunteer firefighter driving around, called in all these little fires. And when I say little, I'm talking smaller than a wheelbarrow. That big of a pile. And they were just smoldering. It wasn't even flames. Fire department shows up, they hose down like 30 different piles over several miles. Sheriff shows up, starts taking everyone's statements, starts confiscating IDs while he files a report. And at the end of it, he said he will let us know if we're going to be charged with a crime. And we can go to the sheriff's office and pick up our tickets. Wound up being a big hullabaloo for about 2 days, and it all just kind of got dropped. Oddly enough, that sheriff's not here anymore. And this has been like 10 years ago now. We've had several times where we'll call in burning saying, hey, we're going to burn here, here, here. And they say, okay. And then 30 minutes later, here comes a fire truck. Yeah, we got a control of out of control fire. And I go, what was the purpose of us even calling and getting a burn permit if you're still going to show up and put out the fire? So a lot of farmers anymore don't even call in because it's become half useless. It's protected right. We know we can do it. It's under control. We're going to do it. Red flag warning is where everything becomes complicated. Technically, on a red flag warning, they can tell you, no, you cannot burn. Well, actually, they've been trying to do that on non-red flag warning days this year, and people still burn anyways. But the way I know a farmer was told this spring, a red flag warning, if you burn and it gets out of control and you have to call for assistance, you are charged with arson, a felony. When the guy called in, it was a less than 10 mile an hour wind. His field burned off beautifully. But in the back of my mind, he's having to sit there and deal with the thought of, if this gets out of control, I'm going to be charged as a felon? Are you shitting me? I'm so sick and tired of these alerts on days that it doesn't need to be issued. And it's because of that, nobody pays attention to them anymore. I'm not kidding you guys. A month ago, we were under a red flag warning for like 3 weeks straight. Every morning you would get a message from National Weather Service. Red flag warning. Red flag warning. And after a while, none of us even paid attention. Somebody would say, oh really? Yeah, I didn't even look at my phone. I had no idea. And it's frustrating as hell that they keep expanding the reach of it, and it's starting to irritate quite a few farmers around here. Sorry, I had to vent. It's been bothering me all damn spring. Don't get me wrong. Red flag warnings exist for a reason. They need to exist for a reason. Because some people are dumb enough to try and burn when the wind's blowing 30 mile an hour. Because they're just that friggin' clueless. And unfortunately, it's because of those few clueless individuals, they have to lump everyone together. The other unfortunate part is it becomes covering over a massive area. Okay, red flag warning right now. Looking around me, do you see anything that's gonna burn? Maybe some weedy patches over yonders, some little stuff here and there. And that's it. But you go 10 miles, or not even 10 miles, 5 miles away out on the dry land. Yes, I know, you're crazy. You go 5 miles away from me out on the dry land, there's still a lot of grass tinder out there that can burn. But the fact that it is just a blanket coverage across everything is infuriating. And it's just, unfortunately, the way the government works. We can't figure it out on a small scale. We just got to do, all right, Eastern Colorado, you're in a red flag warning. Okay, whatever. And we have had a shit fire season. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's been a couple of very, very big fires that were out on grassland. As far as in the ag area, no. thinking in my mind, I can think of two big ones we have had years ago. And those weren't guys burning in the wind. Those were guys burning, getting ready. The next day, the wind picks up, finds some little embers, blows them out of a ditch, and all of a sudden it catches a bar pit or a road ditch, however you want to call it, alongside the road. Catches that on fire, and it spreads like crazy. That's how the two biggest fires in the irrigated farm ground I can think of took off. Grassland, unfortunately, it just happens all the time. Cigarette butts, chain dragging, power lines sparking. God only knows what causes all these different fires. And there's real reason to have red flag warnings on those days in those areas. Like tomorrow, there shouldn't be burning out there on the grassland because of the high wind. But again, what is going to burn right here? It'll take a massive effort to catch a green field on fire. Okay, now I think my rant is over. Tell you guys what, that planter amazes me. I can't stand the monitor, but for no more than we put into it, what we get out of it is pretty impressive. So that variety, I should have been able to plant 92.5 acres. Planted 92. I call that a win. Check this out. The corn is pretty throw. Oh, now it's gonna go. I don't know how well you can see inside there. The corn has bouncing around and shipping compacted so much, I've almost got nothing to come out so far. But once it goes, it's gonna go all at once. So you have to sit here and kind of keep hitting this handle, and eventually that bridge will let go, and then it's all gonna come flying out. There we go, now we're moving. The whole thing just shifted, the chunk moved. Alright, time for the next variety. This is the part that I absolutely hate. Trying to guess how full to fill these when there's no scale on that guy. I've got 50 acres to do, and then I got to switch varieties. Hopefully that's close. Back up and going. New variety entered into field view. Got, I don't know, about 8 acres left of this field. So it keeps you on your toes. There's 2 different air vents out here to make sure you do not hit. They've all been hit at least once by one thing or another, it seems like. Either way, keep going round and round. I've got a little flood field, another quarter circle, and then I'm going to be out of dry dirt until Cameron gets here. Speaking of Cameron, I think I actually see him over there hooking up. Cool. Maybe I will get done today. Well, as done as I can get today. Got this running joke that anytime Big Chief leaves during the summer, when we've got things going on, it's when things go horribly wrong. My mom went to go see some family in Kansas, so he tagged along. Already had one pivot go down. I'm going to walk out here and figure out what's wrong with this one. It's looking like it's stuck, which is bizarre because we haven't gotten this one stuck. I think I found the problem. Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I've never had those NF tracks, as they call them, get stuck. I'll go look at this tower too. This guy's actually dry, so it's definitely that tower. Oh yeah, I can see looking back that way. See how the end tower out there is out ahead of it? That's the problem, is it's starting to bend and it sets off the safety switch. Alright. Get it lined back up, make sure everything's spinning, and put a chain on it and pull it. Isn't this a beautiful wheat crop? Oh, it's freaking frustrating. My Facebook memories have been filled in the last week with all this beautiful wheat we were cutting 5 years ago, hell, even 3 years ago. And now there's this. Good stuff. Hi, Cam. There's Cam getting another field ready. I've got 40 acres I can plant, and then I need to plant where he's working right now. Of course, this is going to delay me. It's tower number 6, as we would call it, because it's the 6th one out. that had the mud pushed up. I'm believing we have what we call a center drive problem. That's the electric motor there in the middle that sends power to through the two drive lines. That center drive is so hot you cannot touch it. I just kind of tapped it with the backside of my hand and it hurt. So I talked to the sprinkler mechanic. He was already back an hour west, but he said it didn't matter anyways because our first project that I had to call him on cleaned him out. So yeah, poor guy. Came all the way down, worked on one sprinkler, needed so many parts for it, he had to go back to get more parts to work on this one anyway. So thanks, Harold. Okay, so now I'm gonna pop the control panel open. Maybe. Good night, that is tight. Ow! Son of a biscuit. Send it the other direction, safety override, get it moving, line it back up. Man, pocket knife is dull as a butter knife. It'll even cut you still. I hate this new latch system they put on some of these boxes. It makes them so hard to move. Okay, that is far enough. Shut it down before safety faults out. Now I can go out there and use my phone to watch it when I tell it to move. Leaky pipes and high voltage. This is a great little sprinkler we got here. Now let's get this thing moving again, see what happens. Wrong button. I know you guys can't see anything through the glare, but come on. My hands are getting all dirty, so my phone doesn't want to read me pushing buttons. One's moving. Hey, it's moving. I wonder if it just simply can't get through the mud. Next one's moving. Phone call. Let me get back with you guys. And we're back to planning. Got a little 10-acre flood field here to knock out. Another quarter circle, then where Cam's working. For having a day full of planting, I'm only 50 acres in. It's 3:45. Feeling real productive today. Real productive. Considering I've had very minimal breakdown. I had 3 more opener bearings to change, but that's kind of par for the course. Last field. 9 acres in, probably 25-ish to go. I don't know. It's gonna plant a little over 30. And I can already tell I'm not gonna have enough seed because I got out to check a little bit ago when I was at the shop. So I got delayed, started it, and then I ran over to the shop to make sure everyone was on par with the plan for tomorrow. Got a call from the big chief. It makes me laugh. I talk to him more when he's gone than when he's here. I got a call from him at noon saying this ditch turns on at 6, this ditch turns on at 8 a.m. and then the last ditch turns on at noon. I go, all 3 tomorrow? That's the plan. Okay. Calls me back about mid-afternoon, about 3. Hey, it's all kind of up in the air. The river's dropping, so with less water coming down, they're not sure what they're going to turn on. And then he called me about an hour ago and said, okay, the plan is for all 3 to turn on, but it could change. So this is one of those things that's nice about our system and I hate about our system. So if you're kind of new here, or if I haven't done a good job explaining it before, other than one field that has a well on it, our entire farm is surface water irrigation, meaning canals that divert water out of the river is how we get our water. The thing I love about that is it is a 100% renewable source. Ask the guys in western Kansas that are tapped into the depleting Ogallala how they like the Ogallala. They're having to drill deeper and deeper, spend more and more money to bring that water to the surface. Ours renews every year because it's all based on mountain snowfall. Downside is, come the 1st of March most years, we have no idea what we're planting. Makes it interesting, but it's also kind of aggravating because, you know, you watch YouTube videos, all these guys getting seed orders in February, and they're mapping out all their fields, what's going to go where, and this and that. And I'm like, we don't do any of that because we can't. I mean, right now I'm at 236 acres planted for the year, and that's honestly, a month ago, that's more than I thought we would plant. It's weird. A couple of years ago, our farm was dang near right at 50% corn. It's all in what we get for moisture-wise. So, it's kind of one of those love-hate things. This time of year, it gets especially frantic because you're starting to get that snowpack to melt off. Oh, it went away. So as the snowpack melts, the river's obviously going to run bigger. It's going to fluctuate how much water we're allowed to take out of the river, because every canal system has their own decree. And it's just long, complicated, boring. I'm not going to get into that, but either way, we're starting to run a lot more water in the canal. But as that water coming down the river fluctuates, our canal fluctuates, and it is what it is. So there's a lot of uncertainty. This time of year, we get a whole lot of water, and then come late July, on a normal year, we have almost no water unless there's a random thunderstorm that pops up along the mountains. River flows, we get another shot of water. It's kind of one of those, it is what it is type of deals. Either way, I'll keep going round and round. Just gotta get right over there. Getting close. I believe I told you guys I needed 50 acres of seed. That would have been an insanely close guess because I ran out at 43 and I'm 2/3 done there. Maybe 10 acres left at most. So I'm going to go throw in a splash of seed so I can unhook my pickup, come back, get this finished off, so hopefully I can spray it in the morning. Wound up getting 6 acres too much. Oh well, it happens. Either way, planter's empty now, folding up, headed to the shed. It's 8 o'clock, it's time for bed. Catch you guys in the next video.